5 layers of umami in 1 spoonful. This soup curry stacks dashi, seared pork, tomato, and 2 secret ingredients into a broth so aromatic your kitchen will smell unreal. Let me show you every step. If you like a printable version of this recipe to keep in your kitchen, just Google soup curry dashi to find it. First things first, let's get our aromatics prepped. Take your onion, celery and carrot and dice them down to about 2 to 3 mm pieces. We want them fine enough to practically melt into the base later. If you've got a food processor that works too, just pause carefully. We're going for a fine dice here, not a paste. While you're at it, get your dashi stock ready before anything hits the heat. Homemade awase dashi is the quiet Japanese soul behind this whole dish. A teabag style dashi packet works great too. Instant dashi granules are okay in a pinch, but they bring extra salt and flavour with them. Alright, here's where things get a little unexpected. We're making a Japanese soup curry, but we're borrowing an Italian technique. Slide 15 grams of unsalted butter and 1 tablespoon of olive oil into a cold pan, then set over low to low medium heat. Once those fat melt together, add in all of your finely diced onion, celery and carrot. Give everything a gentle stir, pop a lid on and let this mixture sweat for about 30 minutes, stirring every few minutes to make sure nothing starts to brown. If you already keep soffritto in your freezer from Italian cooking nights, feel free to skip this whole step and use about 150 grams of that instead. That soffritto window is prime times, let's use it wisely. Start by seasoning your 6 chicken drumsticks and 150 grams of pork belly chunks with half teaspoon of salt. As for the pork belly, if you can't find it, spare ribs are a tasted and delicious alternative that become meltingly tender after simmering. Pork shoulder chunks also work. If you're using shallon shrimp, peel all 10 of them, devein them by running a shallow cut along the back and removing the dark vein, then rinse and pat them dry. Set those aside. It seems a lot, but this recipe makes about 8 servings. Next, grate your garlic and ginger now so they're ready the moment we need them, about 1 tablespoon of each. Now for the tomatoes, remove the stem end from each of your 2 medium-large ripe tomatoes and score a shallow cross on the bottom. Lower them into boiling water for just 10 to 30 seconds. Then transfer them immediately to ice water to stop the cooking. See how the skins are already pulling away? Just slip them right off with your fingers. Satisfying, right? Now why bother peeling? In testing, unpeeled tomatoes left messy little skin curls floating all through the broth. Peeled tomatoes gave a noticeably cleaner, more refined texture. That said, the skin does hold some concentrated nutrients, so it's a texture versus nutrition trade-off. This step is entirely optional, your call. Once peeled, cut tomatoes into rough chunks and set them aside. Last bit of prep. Quarter your eggplants lengthwise. Slice the kabocha squash into 5mm half moons and trim the green beans but leave them whole. Alright, time to build some flavour. Heat a thin film of neutral oil in your large pot of medium-high heat until it shimmers. Lay the salted chicken drumsticks and pork belly pieces in a single layer. If your pan's surface is not big enough, do them in 2 batches. Let them sizzle completely undisturbed for 2 to 3 minutes until a golden brown crust forms on the bottom. Then flip and repeat on the remaining sides. Once everything is evenly browned, transfer the meat to a container, and whatever you do, do not wash the pot. Those browned bits stuck to the bottom are flavour gold. By now your soffritto should be beautifully soft and fragrant. Transfer it straight into the same pot you seared meat in, right on top of all the fond. Stir in your 1 tablespoon of grated garlic, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, 3 tablespoons of Japanese style curry powder, half teaspoon of ground cumin, and half tablespoon of dried basil. A quick note on the curry powder. Japanese curry powder like this S&B's iconic red can has a milder, slightly sweeter profile compared to regular curry blends. If you can't find it, a standard curry powder works just fine. The spice profile will lean a little hotter, but you will still get a satisfying result. Cook this over medium heat, stirring constantly until the raw sharp edge disappears and the mixture smells deeply aromatic, about 60 to 90 seconds. But watch carefully here, the ground spices can scorch within seconds if your heat is even a touch too high. If you see any darkening or catch a whiff of something acrid and bitter, immediately add a splash of water to cool the pan down. Now add your peeled tomato chunks along with half teaspoon of salt and stir everything together. Use your spatula to crush tomatoes against the side of the pot as they soften, breaking them down into a rough pulp. Continue cooking over medium heat, crushing and stirring until this mixture reduces to a thick paste-like consistency, about 8-10 minutes. You will know it's ready when you can drag your spatula across the bottom of the pot and actually see the surface for a moment before the paste flows back together. That's our target. Pour in your 1 liter of dashi stock and scrape up every single brown bit clinging to the pot bottom. That fond is concentrated flavor just waiting to dissolve into the broth. Stir in half tablespoon of Chinese style chicken bouillon powder and 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. Then bring everything to a gentle boil. A quick heads up on the bouillon powder. Concentration varies by brand. The one used here calls for 1 teaspoon per 200 milliliters, so check your label. If yours is more concentrated, say 1 teaspoon per 300, use a touch less to avoid oversalting. Less concentrated, a little more. Now while the broth simmers, preheat your oven to 220 degrees Celsius. Arrange your prepared eggplant, kabocha slices and green beans on a sheet pan in a single layer. Brush them lightly with oil and sprinkle with a pinch of salt. Authentic Sapporo soup curry shops traditionally deep fry their vegetable toppings, but let's be honest, heating up a whole pot of oil at home just for some vegetable toppings feels like a lot. Oven roasting was my tested alternatives with far less mess and effort, and air fry works here too. Roast for 15 minutes or until the edges caramelize and the vegetables are tender when pierced with a knife. Once the broth is bubbling, reduce the heat to maintain a lazy simmer. We want occasional bubbles breaking the surface, not a rolling boil. Return the seared chicken and pork belly to the pot, nestling them into the broth. Tuck in a bay leaf, then cover and let everything simmer gently for 20 minutes. When about 2 minutes remain on your timer, add the prepared shrimp to the pot and replace the lid. Now taste test time. Grab a spoon and try the broth. This is your moment to fine tune. If it's tasting a little under-seasoned, you've got 2 moves. Either continue cooking with the lid off to reduce and concentrate flavors, or add a splash more soy sauce for extra saltiness and depth. Go slow and taste as you adjust. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. Alright, here's the part that's going to make people say what's in this. Remove the pot from the heat entirely and then stir in 1/4 teaspoon of instant coffee powder, 1 teaspoon of blueberry jam, and 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala. These are the hidden flavors that add complexity without announcing themselves. The instant coffee deepens the roasted, toasty notes already built by the Maillard sear. The blueberry jam provides a subtle fruity sweetness that quietly balances the spice heat. You'd never guess it was there, but you'd miss it if it wasn't. And the garam masala comes in right at the end to refresh and lift the aromatic top notes like a final split of perfume on the dish. Nobody will be able to pinpoint them, but everyone will notice the depth. Now for the showstopper moment, ladle the curry broth into deep bowls, then arrange the chicken and pork belly so they're partially submerged but still visible. Nestle the roasted vegetables around the proteins. Add a halved soft-boiled egg. Scatter a few celery leaves on top for a pop of freshness and add any other garnishes you like. Serve immediately alongside steamed Japanese short grain rice. And here's a favorite leftover hack. Pour hot reheated curry over a bowl of fresh steamed rice, top it with melty shredded cheese, and stir everything together. It's my favorite way to use the leftover soup in zosui style, a bit like a Japanese rice porridge meets curry, and it is dangerously good. And there you have it, my version of Japanese soup curry, a fragrant spice warmed broth with 5 layers of umami depth, tender bone-in chicken and rich pork belly, roasted vegetables with caramelized edges, and those secret finishing touches that make every spoonful a little mysterious. Want even more delicious recipes? Grab my free cookbook from the link in the description. Okay, let's go over the ingredients one more time, and if you're ready to cook, grab the written instructions by clicking the full recipe box with a picture that's about to pop up on your screen. That's a wrap. You can find a full printable version of this recipe on my website, linked right here on the screen. It has all the extra details to help you get it perfect every time. If you enjoyed this, check out my ultimate playlist. And next week I'm making taco rice. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. See you then.